Are you a fan of the royal soap opera, The Crown? Some people like it for the history and maybe the drama, but if you're like us, you're there for the jewels. Each episode is dripping with gemstones, and we can't help but be a little jealous. Let's learn a little bit more about the iconic jewels of the crown. In the very first episode, we got treated to some fabulous royal replicas. During the wedding of now Queen Elizabeth and her husband Prince Philip, the bride is wearing her diamond fringe tiara. It features almost 1,000 diamonds, but it almost didn't even make it to the wedding. Click the link down in the description for our video about that whole debacle. The pearl necklace the queen is wearing is actually 2 separate strands, and of course they have names. The Queen Anne necklace is a little smaller and it's strung with 46 pearls, while the Queen Caroline necklace has 50. Anne and Caroline are generally worn together like the Queen did at her wedding. Those necklaces are likely the oldest pieces in the British royal family that are still worn today. The Queen Anne dates back to 1714 and the Queen Caroline to 1737, making these pearl necklaces some 300 years old. Now, just like with the tiara, there was a little bit of a mishap with the pearls on Elizabeth's wedding day. The pearls were on public display, but no one thought to retrieve them and actually give them to the bride. When it was discovered the pearls were not on hand, the Queen's secretary, Jacques Colville, borrowed the King of Norway's limo to go fetch them. But the streets were filling up quickly, so Colville had to ditch the limo and run the rest of the way back to Buckingham Palace, bringing the 2 necklaces back just in the nick of time. An interesting side note, Colville was later knighted in 1974 for his service to the crown. I'm pretty sure his pearl rescue was a big part of that. Now, as you might imagine, the Queen's pearl collection is pretty vast, so this dynamic duo only pops up from time to time. In 2012, the pearls were part of the Queen's attire for the Diamond Jubilee concert outside of Buckingham Palace. One of the Queen's most sentimental pieces is a basket of flowers brooch that we also see in the first episode of the show. The flowers are made of rubies, diamonds, sapphire, with a little touch of emerald. It's called the giardinetti, or little garden. This brooch was gifted to her in 1948 by her parents celebrating the birth of Prince Charles. It's a favorite piece that she still wears frequently. A slight production faux pas with the royal jewels can be seen in episode 6. Did you catch it? Queen Victoria's Golden Jubilee necklace makes an appearance and is worn by both Queen Elizabeth and Princess Margaret at the same time, on 2 different continents. No necklace is that amazing. In 1887, Queen Victoria celebrated her Golden Jubilee with a royal banquet at Buckingham Palace that included a guest list of over 50 foreign kings and princes. A little fundraiser was put together to give the Queen a gift, but not just any gift. They ended up giving her this stunning gold, diamond, and pearl necklace that was made for £5,000. Today, that's worth about 200 grand. It was created by Carrington and Company and features a central diamond motif with a large pearl in the middle, topped by a crown and underlined with a drop pearl. Apparently, Victoria was so pleased with the final result that she actually declared it an heirloom of the crown. Since Queen Elizabeth got her hands on it, she's worn it frequently over the decades. In season 2, episode 7, there's another royal wedding, and the royal ring can't help but catch your eye. After a failed engagement to one guy, Princess Margaret accepts a ring from another guy, photographer Anthony Armstrong Jones. It features a beautiful ruby set in a cluster of diamonds. It's designed to look like a rosebud, honoring her middle name Rose, and the diamonds are set to give the impression of leaves or petals. They had to wait to announce their engagement though because the Queen was pregnant at the time and her baby took priority. You know how these things go. Also in season 2, we got a look at some of the incredible sapphires in the Queen's collection, including a beautiful suite of sapphires gifted to her by her father as a wedding present. Originally, it was just a necklace and some earrings, but in the early 1960s, the Queen added a bracelet. Then in 1963, the Queen bought a diamond and sapphire necklace that once belonged to Princess Louise of Belgium and upcycled it into a tiara. How clever of the Queen. And since one can't wear a sapphire and diamond tiara, necklace, earrings, and a bracelet without wearing a brooch, unless you want to be roasted by the entire fashion industry, the Queen also wears the Prince Albert brooch. In 1840, the day before their wedding, Prince Albert gave this beaut to his bride-to-be. The sapphire is set in a dozen round diamonds. Victoria was so enamored by it, she wore it on her wedding day and wore it pretty regularly for the next 20 years. Understanding its significance, Victoria designated it as an heirloom of the crown. Today, the Queen wears the brooch fairly often still, and it's a timeless piece that still looks good nearly 200 years later. While you might think wearing all of these reproduction tiaras and necklaces might weigh an actress down, the real heavy lifting has been done by a London-based company recreating these royal jewels. Juliet Designs has spent the last 3 decades providing these replicas for not only the crown, but also for film, television, and theater projects. Owners Teresa and Merrick Thomas started the business in 1980 when they were first asked to repair a particularly bad crown. Today, the pair use various Swarovski crystals and cubic zirconia as substitutes for the more valuable gemstones that make up the real royal bling. In order to get each crystal precisely set, Juliet Designs relies on a 2-volume limited book set, The Crown Jewels. It closely details the construction and materials of each piece. To them, it is rocket science. Of course, the jewelry star of the crown is the Imperial State Crown of England. It's featured in the opening credits of every episode in dark and dramatic fashion. Creative director Patrick Clare says he wants viewers to look at the crown so closely that you kind of start to see the rough edges and rich histories of all the various metals and jewels that make the crown. The Imperial State Crown of England is the subject of one of our other videos, and that link is also in the description. So many royal jewels, so little time. Leave us a crown emoji in the comments and tell us what your favorite crown jewel is. Hey, maybe we'll do another episode on it. Make sure to ring that bell also so you don't miss out if we do. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.